This is an avocado seed. I'm not going to show you how I eat it out of the fruit or what I made for dinner with it or anything like that. I'm just going to show you how to plant it. Let's go and have a look. So this seed is obviously the bottom, and generally the pointier end is the top. So I prefer to plant all my seeds in the soil. It's just a natural way to do things, and I just feel as though seeds respond a lot better to that sort of method. Now you got to remember, these send out a very big taproot out of the bottom here. So if you want to grow these things in paper bags and shove toothpicks in them and all that sort of thing, I sort of don't advise it. I mean, you can do it, it's fun and all that sort of stuff, good learning curve, but I prefer to plant these things straight into the soil. So the more you play around with them, the more chance you have of damaging them, and you have the chances of restricting its full potential. So the beauty of germinating these things straight in the soil is it allows that little taproot to just grow uninterrupted, and it stops things like basically sudden death that these things are pretty prone to. You can get a healthy little seedling for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden it'll just keel over and die, just like little mangoes get. So my advice is to just plant it straight in the soil. It's a very simple process, and I'll show you how I do that. So I've basically just got a pot of soil mix here, which is very free draining, very light, retains moisture pretty well. Now remember, the pointy end goes up, and all I do is basically stick it in the soil like that and cover it halfway and leave it halfway exposed, just like that. Very cool. Now when you first do take these out of the fruit, it's a good idea, it's actually quite important, to make sure you remove any traces of fruit that remain on this seed. It can lead to fungus and rotten mildew and all sorts of crazy little things that will put this seed back. And then just dry it out for just say overnight or for a day or so, and you'll find this brown part here that coats the little embryo will start drying out. Quite an important little process. So there you have it. She's just half in the pot like that, and that's all you got to do. Now generally I throw a plastic bag over these things to keep humidity in, but for avocado seeds I usually don't worry about that, but it also depends what type of environment you live in as well. So if she's nice and warm, you can generally get away without putting a plastic bag on top. Just give it a drink like that, and just sit it in a sheltered position. Now it's pretty hard to say when these things germinate. They can take 3 weeks, they can take 3 months. It just depends on the climate that you're in at the moment of when you plant it. So, and that's it. Stick it in a bit of filtered light and keep them moist. Don't let them go wet, because they will rot. And just keep them moist. And then the first thing it'll do is it'll send a taproot out the bottom, and the top here will start splitting, and it'll open up like a little oyster, and the shoot will just start growing out. And then in about 7 months time, you can end up with a beautiful little avocado seedling. It looks something like this. Gorgeous little tree. So you can see down here that this seed is still green. So even though this tree is doing its thing, and it's very happy and healthy, the little tree is still receiving nutrients out of this seed. So I don't need to add any fertiliser, I don't need to do anything with it. It's just solely living off the nutrients it's obtaining from this seed. So all you need to do is keep them moist. Don't keep them wet, they hate being wet. Just nice and moist, and just sheltered light, because they are a rainforest tree at the end of the day. So try and replicate the conditions that these things would grow in the wild. So don't leave them in, dry windowsill areas or, stale areas. Just try and create a beautiful, nice, humid environment for these things, and they'll thrive, just like this little one is here. Now, this is one of many that I grow. and I've just pulled this one out to show you guys what they look like after a while. But why I grow these is to give myself a good little supply of rootstock, that after about a year I'll cut his little head off here and I'll graft onto it. These are one tree that I actually do graft, is the avocados. Otherwise they do take a long time to produce any fruit at all. So that's about it for this one. So give it a go. Try and grow these things naturally. I do advise to grow all seeds in soil. You don't disturb the process at all. So they germinate how they want to germinate. Okay, you're not disturbing taproots, you're not moving them, you're not looking at them. You just let them do their thing. Don't be impatient. Just let them grow. Okay, and you'll be rewarded with a beautiful little avocado tree like this. There we go. There's a better shot. Okay, see you later, little avocado tree. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.